Good morning to be and welcome to your third English lesson this week. Today it is Wednesday the 7th of July and today's lesson we're going to start a little bit similar to yesterday. So in front of you there is a picture, but today I'd like you to write me a question about this picture. Remember to use a question word and think about what punctuation you'll need at the end of the sentence. So pause the video now and write me a question. Okay, so how did we get on? Do you want to say your question out loud? Fantastic. So I wrote some questions as well. These were my questions. Why has the cat got a pizza on its head? Okay, so some of you may have thought of that question too. What shape is the pizza? How does the cat feel? Okay, and we can tell the cat's feelings by looking at its face. Yeah, it doesn't look a very happy cat, does it? Okay, so in our lesson today, we're going to think of ideas for a recipe for friendship. Now, yesterday we talked about all the different qualities that friends need in order to be a good friend. And I want you to keep hold of those qualities that you made around your figure, because we're going to use those for the next few lessons. So today we're going to think of ideas for a recipe. So have a think, what is a recipe? Any ideas? Have you seen a recipe? Have you got any at home? Have you used a recipe? Yes, that's right. So a recipe is something that we find maybe in a cookbook. You can get them off the internet now, and they tell you how to make something or how to bake something. Okay, so I'm going to show you a recipe now. And it's a recipe for pancakes. Okay, so I'm going to read it through and I want you to be thinking about how we know that this is a recipe. So we've got the ingredients. So we've got 5 spoonfuls of flour, 100. Now, can you remember what ml stands for? We did that in measurement last week. That's right, millilitres. So we've got 100 millilitres of milk, a handful of chocolate chips, a dash of vanilla, a sprinkling of sugar. And then we have our method. A method means what we need to do in order to make the pancakes. We have to follow the method. First, mix the flour and the milk. Then stir in the chocolate chips and vanilla. After that, fry the mixture in a pan. Finally, add a sprinkling of sugar. What delicious pancakes these will make. Okay, and if you look at the last sentence, can you remember what kind of sentence that is? Well done, yes, it's an exclamation sentence. Okay, so I would like you to have you can actually write it down on your paper. I'd like you to write down all the features, all the things that you can see that show this is a recipe. Okay, so have a go. We haven't done recipes much in school, but just see what knowledge you already know about them. So I want you to pause the video now and write down all the features that you can see. Okay, so hopefully you've got a list of features now that show that this is a recipe. So let's see then. Let's see if you've got similar features to what I'm thinking. Okay, so a recipe, we know it's a recipe because we have this subheading here called ingredients. And ingredients are the things that we need in order to make the item, in order to make the pancakes in this case. And you'll notice that in the ingredients that we usually see standard measurements. Okay, millilitres, spoonfuls. So it's telling us exactly how much of something we need. And here we have some really interesting verbs. Handful, dash, sprinkling. So they are different kinds of verbs that we might use to gather the ingredients. So how much do you think a dash is? Do you think we need a lot of that or just a little bit? Yes, just a little bit. A sprinkling. Again, just a little bit. And then obviously a handful is as much as your hand is. Okay, so we also know that this is a recipe because we follow something called a method. So this is another subheading. And in our method, it is telling us exactly what we need to do in order to make the item, the food. And we need to make sure that we follow the method in order. So we have to do it as a step by step. And we can see that we have some words here. First, then, after that, finally. Can you remember what kind of words those are? That's right, they are time verbs, aren't they? Time words. Okay, so first you have to do this, then you do that, after that, and finally is the last thing that you need to do. Okay, we have some verbs here. Mix, stir, fry, add. Now these are telling you what you need to do, but we call these bossy verbs because they are telling you in a bossy manner you have to mix, stir, fry, add. There's no please, okay? So it's very direct. So with recipes, they put a lot of bossy verbs in. And then finally, some recipes, but not always, you might have an exclamation sentence. Or they might just say enjoy or something at the end just to sum the recipe up. Okay, so hopefully you got some of those features yourself. Yeah, right. So it's only quite a short lesson today because I want you to spend a bit more time doing your activity. So I've posted a handout, I've posted a worksheet which has got 2 recipes on it, and this is an example of one of them. This is a 3-veg mac and cheese. On your worksheet you've got this one and another one, and it's only the method. Okay, we're not looking at the ingredients, I've just photocopied the method. And what I'd like you to do, whether you want to print the sheet off and highlight on it, or whether you want to just get the sheet up on your computer and just write the words on paper, that's fine. I want you to have a look if there's any important verbs. Remember, a verb is a doing word in the recipes that you like, or phrases, so a few words together that you think, oh, I like that, I think that would go well in my friendship recipe. So I'd like you to pick out any words that you think you would like to use, because tomorrow we're going to start writing a friendship recipe. Okay, so what you might do, for example, if you get your sheet up and have a read through, you might think, oh, I like the word stir, I would use that in my recipe. And you might even think, oh, I quite like this bit here as well. Gradually whisk. Gradually whisk. Yeah, that would go well, wouldn't it? Okay, and you might like, let's see, sprinkle. There's another sprinkle there. Okay, so just like I'm doing now, I'm highlighting some of the words that I would like to use. You can either do that at home or print off your sheet and do that, or you can just write the words down on paper. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now, I'd like you to stop the video and I'd like you to go onto the worksheet that I've posted for you and to work on that. Any work that you've been doing today, please save, because you're going to want to use those words for tomorrow's lesson. Okay, thank you, 2B. See you tomorrow.